4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Hi, everyone. This is Davey McNally. I'm the chair of the Athens City Commission on Disabilities. If I could go ahead and just, if everyone could go ahead and mute who's not currently talking, that way we won't get a lot of background noise. And I welcome everyone to our second virtual Disability Commission meeting. Thanks everyone for being here. We have some committee members, we have some commission members, and really looking forward to getting through everything today. So first of all, I just wanted to go through and do some quick introductions. My name is Davey McNally, and I work for the Athens County Board of Developmental Disabilities as an SSA. We're going to check in about physical distancing, personal needs, and ways we're addressing needs. So far, so good. I have like the first couple of friends who have had coronavirus. No one that I've seen in a couple of months, though, and they're all recovered at this point. So, you know, everything's going okay for me. And I'm just going to work my way through all of our tiles here so we can introduce ourselves. Rose, do you care to introduce yourself next?
Hey, it's Diane.
Rose, I think you might need to turn on your computer volume. I see that you're not muted, Rose, but it looks like your computer volume isn't turned up. Still not working. Oh.
I think she muted herself, David.
Yeah, it doesn't say that she's muted, but it does. Yep, it's not working for you, Rose. Well, let's go ahead and move on. And if you start being able to understand you, Rose, then we'll get you back on. So let's go over to Barry. Barry, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Barry Dilley, and I'm sitting in my kitchen with all of the good-looking stuff behind me. I'm doing okay, given how things are. Hi, Rose. Rose, we can't hear you.
Well, and as Rose is still working that out, let's move over to Samara. Do you care to introduce yourself?
Samora.
Sorry, I get
Samora, that's all right.
Oh,
That's Carol.
yeah, so hi, my name is Sommore Dowler, and I am a graduate of Ohio University. I have been volunteering to serve on the board, and now I'm an official member. I'm very grateful to be a part of this board. I love advocating for individuals with disabilities. My first opportunity of working with this organization came about with Dr. Carolyn Bailey Lewis. I've learned about disabilities more so at Ohio University in undergrad with Dr. Lewis and all of her classes, and also with Dr. J.W. Smith. So it's nice to meet everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate you joining the commission. And then Carolyn, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Dr. Smith is still trying to get on. I think he's trying to call the webinar number instead of the phone number. So I don't know if Scott can get to him or Ryan.
Yeah.
I tell you what, let someone else introduce themselves and I'll try to work with him.
Okay, that sounds good. Noah, are you ready to introduce yourself? All right, go right ahead.
My name is Noah Tremblay. I'm the vice chair of the commission.
Thank you.
I'm doing good.
Great, Noah, good to hear it.
Can you guys hear me now? This is JW.
Yeah, hi JW, we can hear you.
They had me on, but they had me muted, so I don't know why, but I'm here. Yeah, okay.
All right, good to
tell Dr. Lewis to come back.
Okay, I'm here now.
Okay, go ahead, Dr. Lewis.
Okay. I'm Dr. Carolyn Lewis, and I'm doing pretty good. You all know I broke my femur, but it's healing. Go back to Dr. Sergio on Friday. The only thing that's kind of bumming me out right now, my son is in town for a week or so, and I can only see him through the window. And so I did send a link to the administrator here about Belfry Nursing Home that's got a way you can visit. They put plexiglass around the resident and the visitor can come on the other side and you can at least have that face-to-face as close as you can get with distancing. So other than that, I'm doing just fine.
I'll come over there and break that glass down. What's wrong with these people?
Thank you.
Can't keep a mother away from her son. Good God.
I know that's the truth.
No. Let's go over to Rob. Do you want to introduce yourself, Rob?
Hi, I'm Rob Delac. I serve on the Accessibility Committee, not on the board itself. And I'm a local advocate for biking, walking, transit, accessibility. And that's why I'm involved here. I'm doing pretty good, except for this tooth.
Oh, no.
So I lost a cap, it broke, and I can't really get it fixed at this point. Maybe sometime soon I can get it fixed.
Yeah, not a good time to have injuries, and yeah, as you know, Carolyn, it's just extra steps that have to be taken now. Arian, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, Arian Smedley, City Council for rep for Ward 1, which is the West Side. I also work at the Athens County Board of Developmental Disabilities along with Davey. And I'm doing well. I got my newborn in my lap, so I'll be on mute for the most part in case she wakes up and complains. Glad to be here though.
All right, thank you, Ariane. Slide, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Sly Mata, Assistant Director, Diversity and Inclusion, College of Business, and trying to recover from Ohio University's decision to furlough and lay off a lot of people. I myself am well, my job is secure, but that doesn't, I can't say the same for some of my coworkers. So trying to help them out during this trying time.
Yeah, things are really in turmoil with a lot of people at OU right now. So we definitely feel you, Sly. Thanks for joining us tonight. Claire, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Claire Geisigum, and I currently serve on the Outreach and Education Committee. And like Sommore, I was introduced to the Disability Commission by Dr. Bailey Lewis, and she's phenomenal. So I've had a really good introduction, and I'm here shadowing today. So I'm just really looking forward to the conversation. So, oh, and I work for HapCap. I'm their public relations manager. So that's what I do for my day job.
Thank you, Claire, and you're really great at what you do. I remember you came to and gave a presentation to the county board, to my department, I think, and it was really informative of all the different things that HapCap does. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see. Do we have Rose? Do we have you back yet? Can we hear you, Rose? I don't think so. Let's go ahead and move over to JW. JW, could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, good, guys. I'm glad, a fairly new member to the commission, and been around Athens a long time, and just looking forward to contributing the best way I can here.
Thank you. Yeah, and you've already been a big help. You joined us for the Accessibility Committee last week.
Well, we can't hear you. I think you're on mute.
Turn your computer. Yeah. Okay. And then Diane, are you with us now?
I'm talking to Rose and I'm trying to see. She's trying to figure it out.
Now she is muted.
Oh,
Gotta love technology, buddy.
now
Gotta love it.
Scott, are you able to Scott or Ryan, are you able to unmute Rose to see if it's working?
I'm trying. It's not working. So I'm not sure what's going on. Even when she's unmuted, it's not there. So
I think she might have to rejoin the meeting and make sure that she clicks connect with computer audio.
yeah, I sent her a chat message
Okay.
to do that. So we'll see.
Sure.
Okay. Well, we'll hope to get Rose on here eventually. It looks like she's calling in. Diane, are you able to talk now?
I'm here, but can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
You can hear me or no?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. It's hard to tell when you're on the phone. So I'm Diane Bouvier, and I work at the Office for University Accessibility at the university. And my job is actually safe because I've put in to retire September 1st. So I'll be at that position. I know.
How about that? That's a little news there. Wow.
Yeah, I decided this year that when I reached my 30-year mark, which is September 1, that I would retire.
I see. Good for you. Good for you. Well,
thanks.
Give us a reason to party. I'm ready.
I know, really, but I'm with.
I think
we lost her.
We lost you when you said "I'm with."
She's with no one.
No. So while we're waiting to see if Rose is able to rejoin us. Oh wow, I have better lighting now. Thank you, assistant. And yeah, we're waiting if Rose can rejoin it. Diane, are you back with us yet? I don't think so. I hope you can hear us, Diane, because I think we have you down as taking notes for tonight. Okay, well, let's go ahead and move on into the approval of minutes for April. Has everyone had a chance to review the meeting minutes?
Yes.
Yes, and I'll move them.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have any discussion or corrections from anyone?
I have one correction. I think in the call to order it said Zoom set up by Scott Robb, or it should be Thompson.
Right.
So I'm back. I was kicked off.
Well, okay.
Get a second on this motion, and then.
Okay, and then on approval of minutes, JW used lower cases in his name. I think that's just an oversight there.
Okay.
Okay, and
so what
I think that's it.
Okay, so I have approval for the motion to approve the meeting minutes with the change of JW's name being corrected, as well as Mr. Thompson's name being corrected. Is that correct?
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Okay.
You get that, Diane? I just go with the JW verse and then the regular Smith, but I can say an email on that in the future.
Okay.
I'll second with those edits.
Okay, second with the edits. All in favor, if you could raise your hand.
Aye.
Say aye.
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 Okay, I think motion passes unanimously from what I was able to get. Next on the agenda is, let me get back to my agenda, is treasurer's report. Do you have anything for us today, Carolyn?
Nothing different much. We still have the $1,000 with the $800 allocated to the Education and Outreach Committee. And in the city's budget that the mayor gave us for interpreting, we have $920 and we've only used $320 so far because of the lack of so many needs. So with $1,000 in our budget and $1920 in the mayor's budget for ASL services.
Okay, yeah, and we went ahead and made the decision to keep ASL interpreting for this meeting since it is recorded, so various members of the community are able to still participate through viewing it. All right, thank you, Carolyn. Now we have new business. New business will continue just to start off every meeting with any unmet community needs and possible ways to address. I think we have a really good group of really talented and smart people who work with for a variety of places. So, you know, it's always a good opportunity to check in and see how people are doing. So I'll just open up the floor for a quick discussion. And other than that plexiglass, do we have any other needs?
Hey, Dave, technically, I think we probably should start approving the treasurer's report as well, just to
good
do
idea.
it formally in the future.
Yes.
Okay.
I move that we, can I make that motion?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And I'll second it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Motion unanimously approved. Okay. Thank you for that note, JW. I appreciate it.
Yeah, just to be technically correct.
You know what? I like to be technically correct sometimes in my life.
Yeah, right.
So moving into any unmet community needs other than the plexiglass for the laurels. Do we have any other?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
I'll just say that my wife makes masks. You know, she's made a lot for her workers, and she made me one, and it was sort of tight, and she loosened it up, and made such a difference. You know, it's I think if you're wearing those masks, it really does make a difference if you're comfortable with them, and you should keep working with them until they really fit. I mean, they're annoying, but if they fit properly, they're a lot less annoying.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. One thing that I've noticed is that, especially since the stay-at-home orders have lifted, and even before that, a lot of people are out without protective face coverings on. And I know for me, that makes me feel like pretty unsafe to go out into the community and do a whole lot. Does anyone else feel that way, or does anyone else notice that as well?
Can I want to bring up something about transportation, because that reminds me. So Athens Public Transit has been trying to come up with the best solutions for social distancing, but due to the stay-at-home order being lifted and more people needing to go back to work, they are going to start allowing more people onto the buses. It's not going to be at full capacity, but I don't believe it's going to stay at the 5-passenger limit. I think they're going to start creeping that up. But there is a mask making group, like through Mutual Aid Southeast Ohio, and I think like Nancy Shell and Patty Mitchell, like they're all involved with it. And they are going to be making masks to be made available to the public on the bus. So they're going to be glass masks, and people can take them when they get on. They're going to be hanging up in a Ziploc bag, and people can get on the bus, take them, and keep them. Just because, I mean, luckily these masks are really easy to make and get out there. So I don't have a date for that yet, but I think by the end of next week. And then just one more quick thing about transportation is currently Logan Public Transit, and this will be the same for Athens On Demand too, if it works out, but there's a Logan Public Transit van that's being outfitted for there's like a prototype for plexiglass for the drivers. Just because I know that people, if you're using a wheelchair, you have to sit very close to the driver. So they're just trying to encourage, you know, that additional barrier. So we're testing that out right now.
That's great. Thank you for the update, Claire. We'll make sure to get that in the notes. And I think if there's any way, I think this is one thing that we can get a lot better at, is sharing information with the community in general. Like we have, you know, a Facebook page, which Scott Thompson helps us manage. We want to be able to kind of connect people, because we have a lot of people connected to us through Facebook. We just don't put as much out as I think what we could. Which remind Rose, are you back with us now?
Yes, I am. As a matter of fact, we can thank Scott Thompson for telling me to log off and log back on, and that did it.
All right, great job. Do you want to introduce yourself, Rose?
Oh. Well, my name is Rose. And just called on me. It's because I've been doing so much communications for the Disability Commission, and so when I heard him talking about that, and he was saying, "Gee, how can we get that information out?" I thought, "Oh, he's going to be calling on me." Just guessing. And I think, well, it's so important to get the word out. And I just want to interject and say that tomorrow, check out the Athens Messenger and Opinion area. There's going to be a beautiful Carolyn Lewis, and you know, and it's talking about how in this time of the COVID that the Laurels, which is where she lives, have made so many good changes to help people.
Yeah, and that's something really exciting that we're gonna talk about that a little bit here in a moment. But yeah, that's something that you know, I'm really excited about doing, like a monthly column from the Disability Commission in the newspapers.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
That's an exciting announcement.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, and I think one thing we're trying to do is just put out more information about, you know, asking people to wear masks and why it's important. You know, there's a lot of ways that that's been politicized, but I think it's still important just to let people know that this really affects people who have disabilities, especially with underlying health conditions.
Well, one more quick thing too, Dave. I've been hearing that people who don't want to wear masks have been using the ADA as an excuse, you know, erroneously in many cases. That's so sad, but I've been hearing it's been happening over the last 2 weeks or so around the country.
Right.
And sometimes that's a legitimate issue if people have like
but some are not. They're just using it because they don't want to. Well,
yeah, and
which
sometimes
is
people use that for like service dogs and all kinds of different things, and it's hard because you can't like make someone give you proof of their disability right there in the place at the time, but you know, it's just expecting other citizens to just kind of be honest and play fair, but a lot of people, you're right, aren't right now.
Well, I think we need to, when we hear stuff like that, if you can get a quick communication to a television station, radio, or reporter or something, and just say, hey, you know, don't let that kind of behavior give the ADA a bad name. That can only help.
That's a good idea.
So now to move down on the agenda, I think just pushing the mask issue and also letting people know about, I think just letting people know about some of the ways that they can keep each other safe is important. So we're going to move down to the Communications Committee starting, which kind of segues really nicely. Carolyn, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we are, it's been a two-person committee for the last couple of years, Rose and myself, and sometimes Barry helps us with some things. But we are starting to reorganize, and there are 6 of us on the committee, and we're going to meet next Wednesday at 5:30 by call, if that's good for everyone. We'll find it out tonight. And one of the things that actually originated from the Education and Outreach Committee was monthly letters to the editor, as well as a monthly column. So we talked about it in the executive meeting a couple of weeks ago, and I contacted the new editor of the Messenger, Caitlin Thorne, and also I didn't realize Terry Smith was leaving. I also sent him a letter and then found out they have a new editor, Sydney. So Caitlin, we sent a note to her. She said, get it to me. And I said, well, I'll get it to you by Tuesday, a draft column. So between Diane's editing and my daughter had a finger in it and Rose doing the last topping on it, we got it in yesterday, and she sent me an email today saying it's going to be in tomorrow. So we're really happy about that. And I wrote it, COVID from an insider's point of view, being in a skilled nursing and rehab center and the precautions that are being taken. So after the meeting's over, I'll send you an email copy of it so you'll know what to expect. But I want to thank Rose and Diane especially, and Barry gave me some input too on some things to write. So thank you very much for all of that. So that's where we are. So for those of you who are on the communications committee, I sent you an email. Is next Wednesday at 5:30 okay for a call?
Sure.
Who's on there again? Am I on there, Carol? I can't remember.
Not on that one.
All right, I guess so.
Arian, Claire, a student, I'm not sure if I sent her a note. I'm not sure if she's still in town. Paige, not our Paige, who's interpreting. Preston, Sylvie, Rose, and myself. So Arian and Claire, are those, is next Wednesday okay for you?
Yeah, that time works for me. Thank you.
Okay, I'll send you the call-in number and the pin.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all I have, Davey, on that.
Yeah, and I just think it was just such a well-written column, and I'm excited that it's getting out to the community. And yeah, it's just something that's really important to think about right now is precautions taken, especially in facility-based settings.
So I think, Noah, you are scheduled to write the next one in June, and it's just kind of volunteer. If we don't have volunteers, we'll kind of tap you and say, well, actually be thinking about what you could write, what is your own experience, something that's really relevant to what's going on with your job or whatever it might be. But we're targeting, billing it as from the Commission on Disabilities, the Athens City Commission on Disabilities. And I just put a little blurb about who I am. I sent a picture, but I don't know if that's going to be in, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. And so if you're interested in writing a column or even a letter to the editor, feel free to do that. But let me say one thing. What we normally do is try to vet everything so we don't have a lot of errors or any errors. I will usually look at it. I'll send it to Diane. We send it back and forth. We send it to Rose and whoever's involved. And we just want to make sure that it's the best it can be. Nobody really has any. We have broad shoulders, so we take a lot of edits and we don't cry over it. So we just try to help each other out and think that works the best. So if you're interested, just let us know and we'll get you on the schedule.
Yeah, thanks again. I'm just really excited for that. I think it's probably going to be our most important committee over the next few months because of that's, how we need to disseminate and get information across right now. We can't really do things in person, so. I'll go ahead and move down to the next committee, which is starting. It's led by Noah right now to kind of get it started. Noah, were you able to put some talking points together for that? Okay, great.
This committee is responsible to do advocacy work on a local, state, and federal level. Some of duties include keep track of important legislation, write letters to lawmakers making the public aware of issues that are or might affect individuals living with disabilities. It looks like slide JW, say more now. Anna and Frankie are a part of this committee. Is that right? I'll be working with all of they the first.
Sounds right to me. I stand ready to do what I can.
So you said Sommore is also on that committee too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Sommore, JW, and there's one other name. Maybe
like slide JW, say more now. Anna and Frankie are a part of this committee.
Okay.
Is
So
that right?
Yeah, that sounds right to us.
Was Scott on there too? I have Scott, Sly, Noah, JW Sommore, Frankie, and Anna Corpy.
That sounds right.
I'll be working with all of they the first couple of months. Is anyone interested in being chair of this committee?
I'm sorry.
One thing that could happen, Noah, is you guys could you all could just kind of meet and then decide once you get kicked off for a few meetings. Because I know Noah's just kind of helping to get the committee started, and then we'll back off and rejoin accessibility, right?
Just a suggestion, Sly, would you think about, I'm just putting out there, as you work with Noah and learn more about what he does and what everything
Yeah,
is?
most definitely. So I was distracted, so I was trying to go through my email to get the notes on the committee. But yeah, it's definitely an interest for me. So once we get it off the ground and set what our goals and objectives will be for this coming year, specifically, you know, with OU laying off so many people, you know, making sure that, you know, all communities are being represented and all communities are still the focus part, you know, as part of that advocacy part. But no, count me on board. So definitely, as we get the ball rolling, yeah, it's something I would definitely consider and possibly just volunteer for, knowing the way that I am. So count me in.
Great. Thank you. For the upcoming meeting,
we're moving on soon, but that will probably change.
Yeah. When do you want to set
out a place when the time comes?
Okay.
Right now, the first or second week of the month would be better for me. What's everybody else's availability?
No, I'm pretty flexible right now, so make me an offer.
The same. It'd probably be best for whether it's a survey invite to see what days are best or something so we can communicate, because you know, with us all working from home, or with the majority of us working from home, our time is free, but still things are coming in and out. So I can work on sending something out to all the members just to get an idea of their availability on a consistent level, and we can go from there.
Right. I'm not a big fan of those doodle polls in terms of my system. So if you send out one of those, send me an email in terms of my availability, Sly.
I got you, brother. Worst comes to worst, I'll give you a ring and we'll talk it out.
Yeah, that's cool.
Great. All right. Well, I think you're moving along then. Noah, do you have anything else to add?
That would be great.
Okay. So we're running a little bit behind in terms of our agenda. Thanks for pointing that out. So we have about 21 minutes left.
Aren't you proud of me using my cell phone now for these damn calls?
So as a quick discussion on committee members that aren't participating currently, we currently have I think 2 people who haven't been regularly participating. That's Robin and who's the other person?
Preston Sylvie.
And Preston. And it sounds like Preston's I know and would like to give up his membership.
No,
I'm fine.
He sent me a note saying he would really like to participate. And so I don't know where he is tonight, but I'll check with him one more time.
Okay, well let's just give him another chance. It sounds like he has a good skill set, and we would love to have Robin back. Robin has such a great skill set for this commission. I just haven't been able to get a hold of her. Has anyone talked to Robin recently?
We texted, but I haven't spoken with her on the phone.
Okay, yeah, I sent email and called, and I just haven't heard back. So we'll just keep following up and kind of table the rest of the discussion until next meeting. Moving on to personal profiles, another thing to kind of drive some more interest in the commission and also just to publicize some of the work that we're doing. I sent out kind of like a rough draft of a personal profile, and what the idea would be is that each of the commission members would do a personal profile, and then we would post that on our Facebook page just to kind of publicize the work that we're doing. Do people think that's a good idea? We talked about it in executive session, and I decided to give it a try.
Might that also be used in the column of the paper?
I think possibly some ideas that come from the profiles could be used, but I think the proof, yeah, I mean, potentially. I hadn't thought about that.
Messenger's doing it to their own folk. You know, on the Messenger, they are putting a profile in for all the various people that are working there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any other thoughts? What do you think, Claire, about doing some personal profiles like that?
Yeah, so would you be putting them on Facebook?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great idea to have like some sort of Friday feature, you know, where it's a picture and, you know, everyone kind of follows the same formula. So like it's a picture, like name and title, why you're on the commission, just a little bit of background. I think if it could be if we could develop some sort of form that could be filled out, just so that like everything could be formatted the same way. I think it would be great.
Okay. I think what we'll do between now and the next commission meeting, we can just kind of finalize the format and work with the communication committee to just kind of get that, there we go, to get that kind of finalized and laid out right, and then publicized. And then the idea is that the person who just did it would then kind of pick the next person. So that way we could go through the whole commission that way.
So you're thinking of doing a profile of everybody in one little booklet or something? No, just one.
Yeah, just kind of one a month from now, and then we can.
Okay, one a month, right? Well, and somehow and I haven't formalized it in my mind, but somehow in addition to that profile, there should also be about who we are, what we've done so far, and what we want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the because I think we want to attract more people to know of us and to want to help.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, thanks for those comments. And I mean, I think we just have such a great commission. It would be good to highlight some of that. Did you have something to say, Diane?
Nope, I'm just trying to type.
Diane, great.
Am I making noise? I'm finally back. I'm so excited. I have an old computer with an Ethernet cord, and that seems to be doing the trick.
So I can stop taking notes now. The only thing I missed, Diane, when you told me you weren't on, were the approval of minutes. I didn't catch who approved and who seconded.
Okay, so we might need to combine and see what we're missing. We'll ask Davey to help us fill in the gaps and know others. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Davey, can I chime in real quick?
Sure.
I know the goal was a monthly column, but you're mentioning of you're noticing people not wearing masks and the importance of people wearing masks is such a timely topic, and I wondered if there'd be interest in going ahead and having you write another one, or having the commission write another one and you author it and it be on that topic.
Mm-hmm.
Or would this be the time to use a letter to
the editor?
The editor letter. You
That's
know,
what I'm
like
thinking,
the whole commission saying it's really important that everyone wears masks. What do you think? Because just having the name of the Disability Commission implies, of course, that what we're representing is a group of people who have needs in the community.
Yes.
Okay.
Or someone could write a column, but I'm thinking people read the letters to the editor only to see.
I would say, make it clear everybody wears a mask unless they have a legitimate reason not to do so.
Right.
Right. This might be a good communication advocacy combination. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And I think what we could do is I would like to do a draft of that. I'll have some time tomorrow before I pick up the kids to kind of like type out like a draft. I'll send it to the communications and advocacy and the executive committees and just kind of give it a shot. And then if it's okay with everyone, I would like to make a motion that we kind of we list everyone on the disability commission, or do you think it should just say?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I
I'd
so
second that.
move, right?
I second it. Whatever. Absolutely.
Everyone in favor?
Okay, I have one thing. I would say that anything is written be funneled through the secretary to send out or to the executive committee.
Oh,
Okay.
sure, absolutely.
Okay, that's fine with me too. So
All right.
Rose is making a motion. No, Dave made a motion that we list everyone in a letter. Rose
Seconded it.
he firsted it and JW seconded it. Is that what happened, sort of?
Yes.
Well, actually, Dave started it and Rose finished it, and then I seconded it. So, you know.
That's what I have.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure I'm getting it right. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and I think that really dovetails really well with what Carolyn wrote as well about procedures that people are doing. So, and Claire made a note for us to think about. An important note to keep in mind, I think, about this letter to the editor is mentioning our values of liberty, since that is the argument the naysayers are using. I think that's completely true. Like, people's liberty to be able to go out into the community is really affected by people not wearing the mask.
Right.
Well, there are some health issues too that people, asthma and other that people can't. So we need to be mindful of that.
Okay, I'll take a shot at it and see what everyone thinks.
Right.
We have too many good editors in our group. Okay, so moving along with the agenda. So I think we already talked about committee meetings and
Dave, before you
accessibility.
go on, I have something to ask. Since we started late, I don't know if we need a motion, but maybe we could go a little bit later since we're having technical issues.
Are we set up to be able to go an extra few minutes, Scott and Ryan?
You can go as long as you need to.
Okay, thank you. And I guess this is a question for Paige as well, since we got started a little late. Is it okay to go a little bit later? Okay, thank you, Paige. Okay, so moving on with the old business, we had talked about committee meetings and how to do this during physical distancing time, accommodations to consider, and ways to accommodate in general. Diane, do you want to talk a little bit about what we're, how we're handling accommodations and some best practices with that?
So some of the things the exec group had talked about had to do with when we post notices of announcements or events, we should always be asking people, do you need an accommodation to attend one of our events? And then I would be the point person for that. My suggestion is for committee work that people
won't bother.
that people have whoever is the chair of that committee be the point person, and they try to work out what people need, and if they have any issues or need help with that they contact me, because sometimes having an extra layer in there doesn't help for everything.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing that, Diane. I think that really adds, it helps us become more accountable and more accessible, just so that we get used to providing notifications and also how to request accommodations.
And the other thing might be just thinking about what might be common requests. So sign language interpreting. Another might be if people need information in an alternate format, either Braille or large text or email in a format that's accessible. So usually that, I don't know all the technical stuff, but usually it means if you use a simpler program like Word, it's more accessible than if you use a PDF. So if we try to use Word documents and also try to incorporate information inside an email instead of always as an attachment, those kinds of things make it easier for people using assistive technology. But that's all I had. And mostly if people have questions, the main thing is ask if people need help and then try to help them. And if you need help, let me know. Or if you want it for bigger committee, like a commission, you can use me as a person to be the point of contact.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Diane.
You're welcome.
Any questions about that? All right, great.
I'm going to sound like a broken record, David, but I'm going to reiterate again that the chairman should also get the date, time of the meeting, and I'll send out the template that Diane and I and all of us work together on to put those accommodation requests in there that we sent out for this last Zoom meeting. So make sure at least a week in advance of your meeting, you get that to me or to Diane, or that you need communication about your meeting so that we can abide by the sunshine law.
Great. All right. Moving into the OSTLC updates. Of course, it's the Ohio State Independent Living Council Board. I was in meetings for most of the day today about finalizing the state plan and working on some various issues. We do have it in the 3-year plan to, and we open it up to enable expansion into the southeastern Ohio region. And I think that's a big win for us. It's just going to come down to funding because, as you've seen, a lot of the state funding is getting cut, a lot. And and people just don't know like what next year's budget, the year after that's budget is going to look like. Right now, the centers are, the other centers that currently exist are pretty well financed, but that may not be the case in another 3 years when we, consider expansion. So it's really up in the air, and I wish that, all this hadn't happened, but we'll kind of see. And I'll go into more detail next meeting because we still have another day's work to do on it. Any quick questions on that before anyone? Okay, we'll move on. We'll move down to the executive report. So we are considering a few new members. And Claire's kind of joining us tonight and thinking, and I think we're really strongly considering based on her experience and everything, and I think she's strongly considering, so I hope that works out. We have a couple other people who really struggle with using technology, so we're not sure that they'd be the people to onboard right now, but we definitely have their names in mind. We already talked about letters to the editor and columns. Getting committee reports and agendas out in a timely manner. Carolyn mentioned that, so we don't need to go back into that. And Noah, would you like to talk a little bit about universal design? Or would you rather table it? What do you think?
Aaron? Maybe she left us.
Who did you ask?
Oh, I asked Noah.
I didn't really have time to prepare for this part.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
I started meeting with Paul.
No.
As a personal side project, our meetings are very informal and we talk about anything and everything. Some stuff has gotten quietly done without people knowing it was my work.
Yeah, I think, and I think, some of the issues around housing and I know I've been kind of at some of those meetings, including using some TIF funding to get some more accessible housing built. So really appreciate that. And you can give us more of an update next time, maybe. Okay, great. Thank you, Noah. Is there anything else I missed about executive, Carolyn and Diane?
I think you got it.
Great. Yeah, committees and sunshine. So again, just making sure stuff gets to Diane and Carolyn to get sent out to Scott and get it out to the right people. let's go ahead and move down to accessibility and mobility. We've continued to meet regularly, including with city planners. We've been following up with David Riggs about how code enforcement can support us. He hasn't gotten back to us recently, so we're going to follow up on that again. The major announcement is we had a lot of people working towards who joined us for our last committee meeting. I think we had maybe like, I don't know, 10 or 11 people on that committee meeting. And we're setting up a video conference for June 11th for a remote walk and roll assessment of Washington and State Streets where they cross court. So yeah, the planning meeting went well. See the notes on that. I'm really excited to provide really good and thorough feedback. And I'm really excited about that. Anything to add, Rob or Diane?
No, I thought it was really great. I think people are really excited about participating in this. JW, it was fun to have you in that meeting.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so we're talking everything from like curb cuts to crosswalks to entrances to talking crosswalks, signals to textured sidewalks. So there's just all kinds of things that we're talking about and hopefully going to be able to implement with the help of the city engineers. Moving down to education and events.
David, education outreach.
Outreach.
Yes, yes, yes.
Got it.
Oh my gosh, I did it again every month.
So you want a new committee, do you?
He wants to go to more events.
Yeah.
Barry and I talked, and we didn't have a meeting in May, and we haven't really scheduled anything. Probably, Barry, if you agree, maybe July we'll start our gearing up for the fall.
What's going to happen by fall, right?
Yes, that's it. If it's going to happen, you're right.
So your next meeting will be in July?
Will be in July. And the other thing I wanted to ask the commission, because this came up at the last awards event, that there just wasn't enough parking at the Arts West, even though it was a nice venue. And someone suggested to the committee that maybe we should think about the community center. Of course, it would be free for us to go.
Yeah, I think so. It was, that's a very good point. And if we, I mean, that was really nice. We want to make it even nicer and bigger. We're going to need more space.
I can contact the community center to see what's available. If we, of course, it's November the 4th. I think that's the date. Maybe things will be opened up better by then. I think we should have an alternative just in case. What do you all think? An alternate.
I like that. I think it would be good to have it at the community center. It would be free. And in addition to that, I think it definitely would open up a lot more space for parking for people in the community.
Yes.
It'll be the day after election day. That'll be hot.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, it'll be hot or happy.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, and then we already talked about letter to the editor and news outreach. So anything else from the education and outreach committee?
Good job.
I don't.
Now, Dr. Lewis, we already have several applications for the Athena Award already, right?
Yes, we have
We're going to be.
I'm sorry.
But we're going to be promoting it for more.
That's a question. That's a question. That
Okay, all right.
committee needs to, I think we need to talk about that.
Okay, all right, okay, that's fine.
7 or 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know, yeah, right, good point.
And depending on what happens, it may be a virtual award this year. It may be something, who knows? It's gonna, we just don't know what the fall's gonna look like.
Well, this is going to be live, baby. We're going to make it happen. It's going to be live.
With masks and social distancing.
Whatever, we're going to make it happen. Absolutely.
Maybe we could do it outside.
We could do a parade down Court Street.
There you go.
Do it at somewhere outside.
It's just such a nice event, at least the one I went to last year. I just wanted just to maximize it. It was so nice.
Yeah, it was so nice and so deserving, and we're happy to have you back on this commission, JW.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
so any other, so we have advocacies. Sai's going to send out an email and get in touch and set that up with Noah. And any other announcements before we adjourn?
I have one announcement and a comment too. One, I want to make people aware of a book that's out. Right now it's through the National Braille Press, but there are print copies. It's written by a blind lady who talks about, gives advice on healthcare workers to dealing with people who are blind. Really a great book. If you know anybody who is blind or visually impaired and needs good suggestions for dealing with health, when they go to the hospital or just any place, a healthcare facility, it's a great book. So I highly recommend you get it. It's something called, I forget, it's a great name of it. But it's by Deborah Kendrick, Kendrick. She's a syndicated columnist, Deborah Kendrick. Great book. And then secondly, I had no idea about Ann Glenn. It's been great to see her life unfold and her work with the people with speech impediments. I just thought that was really great. I wish I had known more about her work. But in the future, let's think about educating the public more about her. She fascinating story.
Yeah, JW, I didn't know that at all until I saw it on the news.
I didn't either.
Get done.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, I saw that. If you could send out some information on that to the listserv of commission members, I'd really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll send some stuff out. I got a couple of things we could send out.
Thank you. Yeah, and we can even, I think one thing that's been working is if we send it to Diane and then Diane distributes
That's what I do. I just give it to Diane and say, please send it out.
There you go. I have one announcement.
Sure.
Passion Works is doing a parade.
Oh, yes.
A parade in place on May 31st.
31st, Sunday, yeah.
Between 1 and 3 o'clock. And it is in front of Zenner House, which is the place Jeff Shattuck uses for letting nonprofits do fundraisers. So we're having big puppets, Honey for the Heart puppets out there. 105 radio is going to come and play. There'll be balloons. We're going to have everyone model good distancing because a lot of the people who are the core artists at Passion Works probably won't be able to be there, but we're going to have pictures of them. It's going to be also live streamed, so if somebody can't come, they can watch it. But we're hoping people will come and that they'll just get to have a little joy and happiness and Passion Works.
Is there going to be a lot of news releases about it so that people will know in the community?
Yeah.
The radio ads are out and they're very nice. The radio ads are very nice.
I haven't seen them yet. That's good.
Patty Mitchell, Patty's doing them. Very good job.
I can send some stuff to people on the commission so you have specifics about it, but it would be great if you guys came. I would love that.
Oh, yeah, right. That'd be great if you, if you send it to me, or what you can do is post it on our Facebook page.
Oh, that'd be great. Okay, we can.
I mean, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
That way, all of us will see it, and we can share it with others.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I will do that with you.
And then one last kind of sad note, maybe to end it on, sorry, but one really rising star of the disability community. He was a great writer, passed away last night. Her name is Stacy Milburn. She also started changing her last name to Park, Stacy Park. She's of Korean heritage, and she's just, was an amazing writer. She wrote a lot of in care work. So I think a lot of people who, especially who are involved in the more like radical disability activist movement on the West Coast and in the South. She grew up in North Carolina. are missing her today. So if you haven't checked out Care Work, the book, or some of her writing, her name is Stacy Milburn. I can email you her name in the minutes, Diane.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you.
Is it Stacy with an EY or Y?
It is.
No, which way is it spelled? Is it S-T-A-C-Y?
With or without sugar, yes.
Baby, I have one thing, and
Sure,
she probably doesn't want me to say this, but you know, some can do a lot, some can do a little, but there's a person on our committee. I saw her one day, and she was out getting peanut butter and jelly for children, and I won't say who it is, but you know, we can all do something. If it's a donation to Patties Works or a donation to what's the name of the health center? It's gone off my mind.
WellWorks.
No,
Hopewell Health Center.
The Hopewell that.
Right.
Or even the food pantries or, you know, even the homeless shelter here. So even if it's $10 or $5, it'll buy a couple of jars of peanut butter for some kids who don't have any.
Yeah, and to add to that, Dr. Davey, another really awesome update to end on a good note is that when I updated everyone last month on Hopewell Health Centers and so many families who are struggling during COVID-19, we had an amazing, generous donation of $200 where we were able to purchase peanut butter and jelly. We were able to purchase masks and materials, and Hopewell Health Centers was just very grateful, and the child care team. So I've been going out in the community to help deliver those things, taking a risk, but I think it's definitely good work. Some of our individuals who are in a wheelchair who have mental health disabilities, I was able to go to their home and help them. They're really out. So we're really
That's great.
Yeah, thank you for everyone.
Some more in the future. If you let us know about opportunities to help, please let us know. You know.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Smith.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, I actually have one more update before we all go. I got an opportunity to watch that documentary on Netflix of Crip Camp that Davey sent out and Diane sent out. It was an eye-opener. It was amazing. I see Claire, she's smiling. But this was a phenomenal way of helping individuals who are not familiar with people with disabilities understand what they've been through and how far we've come. And I was just really glad that you guys sent that out.
And in the movie, it emphasized CILs too, which I thought was great.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, do we have, thank you for the announcements and the uplifting note at the end, Samara and Carolyn and JW and everyone. Do we have a motion to end the meeting?
I
second it.
Okay, Noah and,
Noah wants to second it too.
Okay.
It's just flat.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, aye. I think we passed it unanimously. I think
Scott Dennis, you are awful quiet tonight, young man.
Oh, I've had a long, hard day. I'm sitting here in my recliner.
I like to hear you talk every once in a while, buddy. Let me know you're out there.
Oh, God, your name says Diane. Okay. Hi, Scott.
Everyone is Diane tonight because the link I sent out as a follow-up just ended up being used by everybody.